Believe. Believe. God, what do you mean by believe? Honestly, I haven't looked it up in the dictionary recently. But I do know this. Jesus left the earth when he left resurrected human form and went into the heavenly realm, God's realm, and no longer was present in physical form, which he was for some time post resurrection, which is just a topic by itself, but we'll come back to that. Okay, let's go with it. The good news of the kingdom of God that Jesus was proclaiming and that John the Baptist both proclaimed wasn't a gospel of salvation to get saved from a fiery damnation and then get fire insurance to go be saved once you're dead. It was a kingdom that had come to earth, and he was the king. He was crucified, king of the Jews. He was king, and he is still the king. He was the king. He is the king, like he was the king when he created the earth. He was the king before and after he got crucified, to the point where the Romans even wrote, King of the Jews. They didn't even know what they were writing. And then he was resurrected. I don't know of anyone else that was born, lived, died, was risen again, and is still alive. I know no one else. I don't care what religion or belief system you have, it doesn't include that. So, therefore, whatever other God you may have, whatever other religion you may have, including Christianity, no one else has a God that died and rose again. Now, he is the king. Our human understanding of kings really warps our understanding of the high king. I've heard it said by Americans that it's kind of difficult to understand kingdom when you live in a republic and when you live in a democracy, because in a democracy you get to vote in your leader and you get to vote out your leader if they're no good. Well, we won't go there. And so you have a lot of control as an individual over the republic. I was going to say kingdom, but it's not a kingdom per se, but over the republic. Although the president does operate a lot like a king in some respects. He's got the final veto power, etc., etc. And there's the longest living monarch that we have today is the Queen of England. And there's some interesting stuff coming out at the moment about, she's worth 88 billion and has vetoed 100 or 1,000 laws or something, including stuff that would reveal how wealthy the family is and whatnot. But even then, their demonstration of monarchy, of king and queenship, doesn't really do God's kingdom and his kingship justice. The kings that I read of throughout history were bloodthirsty, lustful people for the most part. They were human, and therefore they gave into human desires and different things, and there were benevolent kings and whatnot, but most monarchies, this is a gross, most people's perception of monarchies, let's put it that way, is not the same as the truth of who the high king and creator of the world is. And therefore that warps our perception of who the king is in our life. I think the general perception of God as king is that is so influenced by our view of kings so influenced by our view of human kings and our experience of them. And specifically, I would say that they, think of kings. They always are well-fed, well-resourced. People go to fight for them and die for them. And what do they ever do for you? I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think, as an individual person, it's like all they do is really tax us and take stuff from us, and we can't, I think of different shows my wife's watched about times in, anyway, all these shows that these, your wives get into, and if people took stuff from the king's land, they'd get killed or put in prison and whatnot. That's not what our king's like. The High King, God, the Creator, the true God, the one who died and rose again and is alive still. It's one thing to be risen from the dead. There are reports of people who have died and come back to life, or people who have had death experiences and then come back to life, but they still die. But the one true God, the Creator God, who sent his Son, who's a triune God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, who's still here today and lives in you and me, and is speaking ever so softly, ever so quietly, but always speaking. He's speaking to you right now, if you listen, if you stop. He gave you an idea today, didn't he? And you just thought it was a cool idea, but it was him. Or he reminded you about something that you forgot about. That was him. So there's the king. There's the monarchy. That is a bad representation of who God is. But there's also this all the ancient gods and stuff. And they were all hard to please, angry, could kill you in a moment. You'd have to do whatever they wanted, and if they were so gracious and benevolent to give you a gift or something, that was wonderful. That's not what the true king is like. He is love. The High King is love. He's not angry. He does experience all the emotions. So he is angry about some things, but he's not angry with you and with me. He's not this angry, far-off being that's in a different realm. He is everywhere. He's in the very breath that we breathe. He's right here in front of us. If I go to heaven, he's there. If I go to hell, he's there. In my deepest pain, he's there. In my deepest joy, he's there. He's there. He's there. He's here, right now. So if he's not like the kings throughout history and the monarchies today, and if he's not like the president, and if he's not like the ancient gods, then what's he like? I think we've all forgotten. Or at least it's very dim. C.S. Lewis in Narnia has so many great pictures. Man, you can listen to all of Narnia in about 20-25 hours if you do a road trip. Just did that. We didn't listen to it straight, and I wouldn't listen to it straight because there's too many great pictures where God's just it's such a great picture where I don't remember exactly where, but they go in The Magician's Nephew. They go into this Diggory and Polly end up in this world between worlds where there are ponds where they can jump into other worlds, and they don't know how long they've been there, and they can't really recollect where they're from exactly. Everything is faint and dim. I feel like that's what the kingdom of God is like. It's in our hearts. It's in our hearts, in our spirit, our mind, our soul. It's in there. I think the word says he's put eternity in our hearts. But it's kind of dim. God, you said to pray, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Our language, we're created in his image. I am so aware and convicted of my language and the language that I permit in my home. Mostly of my family, but also of people that visit. We have what we confess. According to your faith be it unto you. God created us in his image. He made us, male and female. He made us in his image. Which always brings me to this picture of, he made us male and female. God is male and female in one. It's kind of mind-boggling. But he's all the female and he's all the male. And he is God. He created us. God is love. He is so full of love that he created 7 billion people living currently, plus, I don't know how many people lived previously, but let's say 7 billion people lived previously. I don't know if that's even true. But I would guesstimate there's been, since the world began, 10 to 20 billion people. I think that's a fair estimate. I know it's a pretty big difference, but so he created this many people. And because he is love, and he's so full of love that he can have an individual relationship with 10 to 20 billion people. And he knew us before we were born, and he's not bound by time. So when he says something, he's there where it's happening. Like when he says something about your future, either in his word or to your spirit or through another person, like he's both here and he's both there. And so he's experiencing that future you, me. I don't know why he's talking to me about this today, but I think because I've had prophecies in years gone by, and I thought they were for then or for soon. And I'm like living it now, which is sometimes 2, 3, 5, 10 years beyond what I thought. And some of that's me being stuck in my stuff. And some of it was just his timing. He's not in a rush because he's already there. Crazy. My kids just got home. That's why I'm in the car in my backyard. It's also, wanted to be in the sun. My house conveniently, I don't know why you design a house in the northwest to not get sun. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just want to live in a glass house, almost. Because when it's sunny, you just want to be in the sun, right? So let me wrap up. This is getting long. It's all started off with believe. When he left the earth, Jesus said, I wish I don't have a Bible on me. So I'll just go from memory. And if I pull up my Bible on my phone, this video ends. He said, all authority has been given to me, and I give it to you. Later on in Romans and other places, Corinthians, we're called his ambassadors, which is a whole other topic in itself. But if I'm his ambassador and I have his authority, and then he said, greater things will you do. And then he said, these are the signs that followed them that believe. They will cast out demons. They'll see the sick healed. They'll take up deadly things and it won't hurt them. Is there anything else? Go into all the world and preach the gospel. These are the signs that follow them that believe. Anyway, So, but believe is not just, believe is an action word. Believe at the time meant was distinctly different than what it means now. When you think of believe today, you think of something that you think is true. It's almost like a thought. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that. Believe 2,000 years ago, when Paul was writing it, when Jesus was speaking it, had a living out, a doing to it that accompanied the belief. I believe that he is arisen. I believe he's given me authority. Therefore, my actions reflect that. And the fruit of my actions follows that and of my beliefs. So if there isn't the action and there isn't the fruit, do I really believe? Or what do I actually believe? According to your faith, let it be unto you. Name Brian Clement would often say, you know what your intention is by the result. He would redefine intention not by like what you intended to happen, but he said your true intention is easily seen by the result. You intended to get married, but you're single 10, 20 years on. Well, maybe your intention was actually to be single. Now, your true intention, and there might have been other things that drove that intention of protecting yourself, or there was maybe some belief systems that got created out of some hurt, or what, who knows. Or maybe your intention is to make X number of dollars, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million, but you make 10% of that. So actually, my intention was to make the 10% of it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you can see from the result or the fruit what I truly believed or what I truly intended. The paradoxical part to this is that we believe, and his timing is the funny part. That I've seen people healed instantly, and I've seen people healed later. And people are healed, just not yet. That's the paradoxical part, I guess. But believe has an action weight to it. So what do you truly believe? And if you believe what you think or say you believe, what would you do? I suppose, what's that verse? You say you have faith. I'll show you my faith by my works. Faith without works is dead. Faith, belief. If I truly have faith, what will I do? Two good questions. God, what do you want me to know right now? God, what do you want me to know about your kingship and your kingdom? Because it looks so different than what is around me. Open my eyes. Open my eyes. Lord, prune those mediums of information and things that are not of you, that I do not need to have coming into my brain, mind, heart, and spirit. And connect me with the mediums that are of you, that I need to hear from, that I need to speak out loud. Let me understand your kingdom and your kingship, and let me walk in faith, and let my actions and fruit demonstrate your kingdom to a world where your true kingdom is a stumbling block and offense to those who are religious, and foolishness to those who don't believe. Lord, give me wisdom and grace, and most of all, love and compassion. It reminds me of love and compassion. I can sometimes know or feel or think I know the truth and just want to share that. But if I don't have a heart of love or compassion, it is meaningless. People cannot receive it. It's like it goes into an impenetrable wall. Bill Johnson once talked about how to have a mask or to not have a mask. Whatever you believe, if the devil, if the enemy can get you to profess whatever you believe is true and right and godly in a way that's not godly, then he's got you off of the true. So maybe believe that the most godly kingdom thing to do is to not wear a mask and to be free. If I believe that and I go around and make other people feel terrible and wrong and start bringing up all this fruit that's not of the Spirit, but that's of the enemy, then I've kind of missed it. But I mean, I could just insert, if I'm wearing a mask and people aren't wearing a mask and I'm hating on them because I think the most kingdom thing to do is to wear a mask, then I've also missed it. So to wear a mask or to not wear a mask, to drink or not to drink, to watch social media or not watch social media, to watch certain movies or not certain movies, to eat sugar or not sugar, to whatever it may be, insert cultural focus or pleasure or whatever. What does it say in Titus? To him, something about if it's under, I don't know, I've lost it. If it's under grace or if it's under God, then it's permissible or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to hit pause here. I encourage you. What do you believe? What are your actions that you believe? Where is God leading you to act today? God, what do you want me to know right now? And then, God, what do you want me to do? I feel like God's leading me to go to a coffee shop right now up in Everett, or to go set up a garden, or both. Probably not both.